We're here, baby.
We're live in person.
Yes, sir.
No Zoom bar right here. Here, let's get this angle adjusted ever so slightly.
Yes,
there
sir.
we go.
Yes,
Like the
sir.
look of that. But yeah, this is Beefy Bets live in person. Got Harrison out in Reno with me.
Go, baby.
Cheers, brother.
Already cracked mine. I was too
Yeah,
excited.
he was ready. He was ready. Man, hit up Tahoe earlier. It was absolutely beautiful.
Little sun on the face.
Yeah, we got sun, a little water. But yeah, we're here to give out our picks for UFC Fight Night Abu Dhabi, headlined by Corey Sandman Sandhagen and Umar Nurmagomedov. And man, this main event, it's tough. I'm not feeling bullish one way or another.
It's super tricky. I think the way I see it more than anything is like it's probably a no bet for me. But if I am gonna bet it, it's gonna be on either an Umar decision or just a Sandhagen dog straight. Because I think I can see Sandhagen getting all the way to a decision and just getting out grappled at least 3 out of 5 rounds, the same way Dillashaw did. Like I think Umar can grapple just as well, if not better, and can strike better. So
yeah, and right now, Caesars has the odds: Umar minus 330, Sandhagen plus 260. So that's what Harrison means, like betting Umar money line. Like for example, like I have Umar power ranked 3, Sandhagen power ranked 5. So that doesn't justify laying the money on Umar.
Yeah,
money line wise.
No way. Not 3-1 whenever it's a 5. I mean, 3 versus 5 in any sport. I mean, you'd be hard pressed to find a sport where I wouldn't tell you 3 versus 5 is extremely competitive.
Let's see, Umar. I'm trying to see Umar by decision right here.
Plus 100. Vegas knows that's the path. And then
I think Caesars might have it plus 130, which would be a hell of I like that. Because then the value makes sense. You're getting something on Umar. And I do think that is his path to victory. I have a hard time seeing Umar just running through Sandhagen. I don't have a problem. Like, I don't have a hard time
with him winning rounds. I just think that it's not going to be so clear-cut that he's able to get to finishing positions and do enough damage. Like, I think striking-wise, Sandhagen's defense and movement is plenty to keep him out of the way of
Same could be said for grappling. Like, we were talking about that earlier at the lake. Like, Sandhagen is maybe like A striking and like B plus everywhere else. Like it's a hard time seeing him get like ran through, whether it's on the ground or on the feet. I think he'll be able to make it be competitive. Sometimes too competitive, like we said in the Yan fight, I think, and the Dillashaw fight. Like he can kind of just let these murky rounds kind of get away and go to the other guy.
And sometimes he'll win like the fight of the round, but not necessarily the actual point fight of the round. We saw that in the Dillashaw fight. I mean, I'll go back to that to the end of my days with Sandhagen, just because the way he fought that fight was like to win the fight, but not to win the points contest. Whereas Dillashaw did the exact opposite, and we see who won the fight.
Yeah, and I
hate that, but that's just what it is.
I can see Umar wanting to kind of play it safe in his first 5-rounder as well. He's been hurt a bunch. He's been kind of inactive. I have a hard time seeing Umar just going like guns blazing, balls to the wall. I could see it being kind of a grind. I think the Dillashaw comparison is pretty.
It seems pretty apt, right?
Yeah.
Because I think TJ has very solid skill set all around, but was a better grappler than anything, and that seems to be Umar's thing. But I do think Umar is maybe better than Dillashaw was in that fight. So it's like as close as the Sandhagen-Dillashaw fight was, like maybe this one's 49-46 Umar, 48-47, but a more clear 48-47. I don't know. I think it's a really close fight, but it's either a dog or nothing or an Umar by decision.
I was about to say, like, official pick is Umar 1 star, but Umar by decision, especially if he can find that plus 130 number, I think would be like worth taking a second look at, more so than the money line on either guy. And I don't think either guy's like a good, like I wouldn't feel good having Umar on a parlay.
No. So I think Sandhagen's pretty live dog, especially on the number. Like I would almost rather have Sandhagen on like a 2-leg where I had like a really confident like minus 350 that I felt great about, and then Sandhagen just to try to level my value back.
Hell, there may be a scenario when we're finished up here and we're looking for dog of the week where like we may revisit Sandhagen. Like if there's nothing else jumps out at us.
It's not crazy. Just plus 260 and a guy that's 5.
Like I have it basically a coin flip, right?
Me too.
Yeah,
me too. And plus 260 on a coin flip. I mean, Billy Walters would tell you have to bet it. You don't have a choice.
For sure. Now this is another one we were talking about, keeping it pushing here to the co-main that we were discussing at the lake earlier.
Interesting fight.
And originally, upon, this is one of those things upon further review. Initially, I had Shara Bullet versus Oleksiejczuk as a no bet. I have them ranked right next to each other in my personal power rankings. But then Harrison, we got to talking about like stylistic side of the matchup.
And also location, the Twitter, the atmosphere of the pre-fight.
When like
I think everything
Oleksiejczuk,
outside of the fight matters so much to the actual fight inside the cage.
Oleksiejczuk was posting some weird stuff on social media saying like I probably will lose this one and I probably will get cut. Like,
and he said he probably would retire from fighting. He wouldn't seek to go to another organization. Like he was like, I'll probably just be done with martial arts.
But you do see that. You start looking through Tapology, and there's a lot of guys that lose a couple of UFC fights and their Tapology ends. Like
They got to the highest level. They found out they weren't the guy, and then like I think that like crushes that dream. You know, because I think the dream is like be best in the world. When we get signed to the UFC, it's like the opening of that pathway, right? Like it's like someone let you on the highway, and then you realize like, oh, my car isn't the speed. Like I can't travel with these guys.
Yeah, and then as far as like the stylistic matchup, like Sharp Bullet, sharp striker who struggles when taken down, but Oleksiejczuk's not out there looking for takedowns.
No, Oleksiejczuk's not going to try to take him down, and he has looping punches where Ashar is way straighter down the middle, and those kicks are going to manage distance.
I was about to say, big looping punches from Oleksiejczuk. Sharp Bullet, very, very crisp. Yeah, Sharp Bullet. Let's see the number here.
Yeah, the TKO number is very interesting to me here, just because I think Shara can put a lot of damage on Oleksiejczuk fast.
Let's see here. Shara at DraftKings minus 238. They don't have the Caesars number for whatever reason, but I mean it's going to be somewhere around there. Minus 240-ish.
I think I saw minus 265 on the William Hill sheet I got last night.
See, to me that's parlayable though, because there's a clear path to victory.
I fully agree.
And I don't know if I like a prop here, like because Shara Bullet hasn't gotten a lot of UFC finishes, I don't believe.
This is one where yes and no. Like he got a finish in his last fight out, but it was late in the third. You remember, like wasn't like an impressive finish where like it was just a guarantee, right?
Let's see. It was
Tricoli. Yeah,
he was definitely worse than Oleksiejczuk when he fought a Bruno Silva, who I think is closer in comparison to Oleksiejczuk. It went to decision.
I do think Bruno Silva has way more durability than Oleksiejczuk.
Let's see here. Oleksiejczuk got armbarred by Kevin Holland in his last outing. See, but he's getting subbed. His past 3 times he got finished were all subs. I don't know if he's gotten knocked out in the UFC. He has not, but he's been subbed 1.5 million times.
Wow. Von Flue, Kimura. He gets subbed every single different way.
He's gotten subbed by so many different guys.
Holy Moses.
Even strikers. Like I consider Michel Pereira a striker.
Does he not have any 1 KO loss?
Like early in his career, it had to be.
Yeah.
Wow.
Marcin Watchstick.
That's interesting. So,
all right, so that backs me off.
Shara by decision. Kind of seems like the move.
What's the line on that? Vegas might be giving you good odds on that. Vegas might be seeing that like me with the KO and not be respecting the fact that he doesn't KO guys. Or rather, Oleksiejczuk doesn't get KO'd.
Where's that? Nurmagomedov by decision plus 340.
That's
very feasible.
Worthy.
Just like I can see a lot of body kicks, a lot of leg kicks.
I know, man. And Oleksiejczuk,
he doesn't have a lot of hands attacks, which is where the knockouts come.
I can see Oleksiejczuk cracking him once and him deciding like, I'll just point fight this.
Yeah,
I'm not gonna do that.
There's a path to that. That's interesting. We'll have to revisit that.
Especially with one eye. Like I could see a one-eyed guy getting cracked and being like, I'm not gonna risk this anymore.
For sure, man. Yeah, because like I said, Sharp Bullet, a lot of kicks, not really known.
But I do like him on the parlay because I do think that the KO is potential, and then I think the decision.
I like him to win, especially at that number sub 300.
Exactly, and I see 2 paths to victory under 300. I like that. I'll take that.
I'll take it too. I will take it too. That's when I've kind of come full circle. I went from a no bet to a 3-star just based off talking with Harrison, thinking about that stylistic matchup, thinking about these paths to victory. You know, I use my power ranking system, but it's not the gospel. It's not the end-all, be-all. There's other factors to consider.
Also, like in the power rankings, like, you know, you're coming off Oleksiejczuk in his last fight when you rank him 35 or 34. What is it? Or 35. That is not, like, his power ranking isn't affected by his tweets where he's saying, like, I'll probably retire. If you count those sorts of things in, it's like, yeah, this is guy that's 35, but maybe he's 47.
Well, there's clearly like Shara Bullet's going up to 34 and is going to continue to ascend past that. Oleksiejczuk is on a firm downward skid where he will never climb higher again than 35. So it's ships passing in the night, going opposite directions. I've talked myself into liking
and in Abu Dhabi where they're going to want Magomedov to get a win.
That is true. That is true.
Like they've sold out to the Saudi Arabia, to the Riyadh. They sold out.
Yeah.
So essentially, I'm gonna pick guys like him, like guys like Gaziev or Gaziev. We'll get to it later.
Yeah.
I like guys like that in these situations.
Man, let's keep it pushing here to honestly, I think
The best fight of the night.
This should be the co-main. I
This
don't
will
know
be
how
the-
Shara
this will-
got this co-main.
Like, call me crazy. This will be the best fight of the night. I think these two guys will put on the best fight of the night.
Yeah, agreed. Which is why, like, sorry to disappoint folks. I'm doing it as a no bet. There's just, it's like, obviously Davison Figueiredo has reached higher highs, but obviously he's smaller coming up from flyweight. He's also older. But Cheeto, the round fumbler, he gives away rounds like Oprah.
I'm sorry. Also, have you ever seen Cheeto win a first round?
No, that's what I'm saying. It's a 3-round fight.
It's a 3-round fight.
So Figueiredo starting one.
You ever seen Cheeto get finished by a knockout? O'Malley couldn't do it with the hardest they've ever seen. What's Figueiredo decision?
Figueiredo by decision.
That's clearly the bet here.
Yeah, bro. Because I was talking. I was listening to
be.
Pound for Pound with Henry Cejudo.
Because Figueiredo minus 145, you're going to get a great decision number here.
Yeah, you are, and I do because the money line, man. There's
and we were minus 110, probably plus 105, minus 105.
So they think that
is, of course it is.
Yeah.
Cheeto doesn't get finished.
He does.
He's too tough. He's too durable. Davison Figueiredo is coming up 10 pounds, but he's technically way better and faster. Figueiredo's going to piece him apart, but it's like I don't love it for a parlay because Figgy could get caught in the third round getting tired.
And it could be a scenario where this is the fight that he looks old, or this is the fight that he looks small.
I don't love him for a parlay, but
Yeah.
like the individual bet on Figueiredo decision or just the over in this fight. I don't know what the over-under set up, but the over in that fight, if we're going to parlay like over-unders at some point,
let's see.
over 2.5, minus 375. Fuck my ass.
Yeah, because Cheeto's a decision guy
so
too.
Figueiredo by decision is the only thing I'd bet on this fight.
Yeah, and honestly, I think there's other props that I might like more. So just I can't, from a fan perspective, can't wait to watch it. And it's really interesting for the bantamweight division. Like if Figgy looks super good against Cheeto, I mean, maybe one fight away from fighting for a belt.
I'll say this: if he finishes Cheeto, I think he's next up.
Yeah,
I don't think that's crazy to say because who else has finished him? Like if you can say that you
what
finished
seems
Cheeto,
like they're trying to set up Umar here for this alley-oop. Honestly,
I agree, but that's what I'm saying. If Figueiredo gets a finish,
if Figueiredo gets a finish, and Umar gets like a snoozy,
sketchy decision win.
Yeah,
like we're talking about maybe it's Umar versus Figueiredo for the number one spot. Which I don't know about the people at home, but like, dude, Umar Figueiredo would be it's not that fun of a fight, actually, is it? Maybe Figueiredo's technique is so good because he fought at 25.
I'll say this. If Figueiredo is going to get a title shot, with his age, I'd rather it be sooner rather than later.
I agree.
I don't want to see him get a shot at 38 when he's washed.
And Umar's young.
Yeah.
He has time. He has plenty of time.
But yeah, we will keep it pushing here on the card. Who is up next?
Oh,
here?
my hot take of the week, baby.
Yeah, Harrison's been drooling over this Ferguson by sub sprinkle. And I mean, the logic is sound.
Plus 1,000.
A guy who has a good Darce versus a guy who always gets finished by Darce.
He has 5 Darce wins in case has 4 Darce losses.
Yeah, I mean, call it caveman math if you want to. Like, it's a sound argument.
And Case is going to try to wrestle him because Case is going to wrestle. How do you get Darce? Shooting a takedown.
This is one we actually looked at the sports book. It was plus 1,000 last time we looked for Ferguson by sub. Let's see.
Plus 1,200 right now.
Plus 1,200.
BetMGM, which is going to be often similar to Caesars.
Yeah, man.
That's
a fun bet.
I love it.
That's like a fun
sprinkle,
bet.
right?
Yeah, it's
like
a sprinkle.
Even a quarter unit on plus 1,200 is crazy.
Yeah, I mean that is going to be how it happens if it happens.
That's what I'm saying. And I like Case on a par. This is going to sound crazy. What's Case's odds? Are you shitting me?
Yeah, no, you can't. You can't throw him on a parlay. You can't.
Holy shit! This is one where I might take a Sandhagen Ferguson just 2-leg, just literally quarter units double sprinkle.
Yeah, I mean it would be juicy. It would be juicy. And yeah, we'll always do at least try our best on this show to kind of differentiate between like, hey, this is like a lockable, bettable, and then versus like, hey, this is kind of a fun sprinkle. You know, maybe it happens, maybe it doesn't. This definitely falls into the sprinkle. You know, have a little fun.
This is the super sprinkle category.
Yeah.
This is like I want to make this fight have something a little more than because really it's worth nothing, right? Like Chiesa and Ferguson, Both could be out of the UFC for all I care.
Well, this is, and I mean, I think a lot of people's estimation, at least the way I'm viewing it, is loser goes home. Yeah, loser
100%.
goes home.
And I think for Tony Ferguson, it might be winning go home still.
I'll say.
Do you think the UFC is going to re-sign him? Like at the end of the day, it's like a Makayev situation. Like you can win all your fights. It's that the UFC wants you, and they do not want Tony.
Yeah, and Tony always is talking shit about Dana not making himself any friends in the second.
And they're making him fight at welterweight to even get this fight. Like they probably wouldn't even offer him a lightweight fight.
Yeah, I think they're doing that to maybe trying to like do him a favor. I don't know. How do you interpret that welterweight matchmaking? As I interpreted it as
I think it's Dana trying to tell Tony like, hey, this is the only way that you can continue to be a fighter that exists in the UFC is you have to go up to 70 because these 55ers are too good. There's too many young guys. The division's too deep. There's too many reasons why Tony should never be at 55 at this point in his career. Not to mention his own age and the weight cut. So yeah, it is Dana trying to like literally force his hand and be like, you have to either retire, please retire. And if you're not going to retire and we have to fight these fights out, I'm only going to give you welterweight offers.
Officially, I have this as a Chiesa 2-star. I have Chiesa as my 37th power ranked welterweight. I have Ferguson as my 47th power ranked lightweight. But you can't bet Chiesa at that number. In this way, I agree with Harrison. The only bet that's bettable on this fight is Ferguson by sub, and that's just if you're having a little fun.
How crazy is that, though?
Yeah.
Think about that. Like the way they've shaped these odds, the only thing that's even worth a play is the Ferguson sub.
It shows you how out everybody is on Ferguson, which rightfully so. Longest
and Chiesa,
losing,
though, too. Like,
yeah,
that's the casino's not really even giving a shit about this fight, in my opinion.
Like, see, I think they're putting a lot of respect on Chiesa's name, which that's tough as well.
See, I felt like that was them trying to say like they're fully sold on Tony's washed, and they'll just give anyone that fights him -500 or more.
I mean, that's probably.
But bro, look at who Tony's been fighting. Like, do we even think the Patty loss is that bad now?
It's aging well.
Do we think the fucking? If you look at his losses, they're all to top 5 guys, or well, top at this point, top 8.
Yeah,
not Patty, but like.
Well, he lost to Bobby Green too, right? Didn't he? Who also lost to Patty, so that one is not aging well.
Yeah, he was giving Bobby Green the hands till he got just starched.
And then even like the Dariush
the Chandler fight, though, he was giving Chandler hands till he got kicked in his mouth.
Yeah, that was one of the worst knockouts ever. So, I mean,
I don't know. It's just like Tony always looks good for about 6 minutes, and I could see him pulling off that sub in that 6 minutes of good Tony.
Yeah, man, this card doesn't have a ton of bets I love. It's crazy that Shara Bullet has become one of my favorite bets when I originally had it as a no bet after talking with you. Because, I mean, coming up next, we got Mackenzie Dern and Lupe Godinez. And I know this isn't really exciting content, but I got as another no bet because I got Dern at 9. I got Godinez at 11. Dern has obviously had higher highs, but is obviously a flawed fighter. Godinez is kind of small for the weight class, but very good wrestler. Her sister's wrestling in the Olympics for Canada.
That's fire.
Yeah. That's so it comes from a wrestling family, but Dern wants you to grapple her, and the path to beat Dern is on the feet.
Yeah.
But so there's just a lot.
Lupe does throw like the looping hooks, and like Dern can't box for shit either. Like it's weird because both these girls are kind of good in the same areas.
Yes.
But it's gonna. Like, I think this makes for, and I saw it in your notes, this makes for an over in this fight.
Yeah.
Because I don't think Dern necessarily is going to sub Godinez, but I could see her reversing positions, getting on top, and winning rounds doing that if Godinez gets takedowns. Like,
because, I mean, surprise, surprise, shooting fish in a barrel here, bet the women's fight to go over. But, it is one of those things that match up well.
Even this is over 1.5, although granted, we'd always be betting 2.5.
Yeah, Dern's coming off the Lemos loss, which isn't aging the best.
It's crazy, though, because her last 3 losses, Yan Xiaonan, Jessica Andrade, and Amanda Lemos, and Marina Rodriguez, those are all at least top 10 losses.
Well, yeah, I mean they're basically all.
And then the win over Virna is aging great now. 4 years down the road,
it is. I do
4 years though.
I think Virna's gotten a lot better since.
That's what I was going to say.
Dern hasn't. Probably, I think it's fair to say.
That's my biggest takeaway, and why I would go 1-star Lupe on this fight is just simply that I think Lupe is more invested in her own career at this point in time.
Agreed. And then she has the loss to Jandiroba, which is aging well. The win over Tabitha Ricci, split decision. But then everybody else sucks, and then the loss to Angela Hill.
Let me ask you this:
Angela Hill couldn't be a different. You almost have to throw that out with juxtaposing Mackenzie Dern. Like Mackenzie Dern and Angela Hill are polar opposite fighters.
Couldn't be more different.
You can't really MMA math that.
Couldn't be more different.
Yeah, couldn't be more different.
Not to mention, I think that the loss to Virna is obviously just this last March. I think when you think about Virna just walked through Lemos.
Yeah.
Right? Well, Lemos just beat Dern.
Yeah.
I'm saying, I know that's some super chael MMA math. I don't hate Loopy in this fight. And I think Loopy's the tougher girl, like, mentally.
What's the number? Let's see the number.
I actually don't know.
Yeah, let's
see don't. It's got to be close.
Here. Coin flip. -105 Godinez. Yeah, I
mean, but that is how I see it. But I'm just saying, like, I'd probably go 2 stars Loopy Godinez here. If I had it as 1... and I'm getting exact even money, I might as well call it 2.
I have it in no bet. You might have talked me into a 1-star Loopy.
Yeah, but it's not one I'm going to put anywhere.
Yeah.
If I'm being fair. The over is probably my lock on that.
Let's check that. We have access to that. No need to speculate here. Let's see. Over 2.5 rounds -250. So, I mean,
potentially parlayable. Right, if we get 2 other legs for that.
Yeah, parlayable. Something to consider.
And then also, fight goes to decision. If you click on that, because we're talking about the over 2.5, but some books, and I'm going to find it, are going to offer this one. Fight goes to decision -210, which we're talking about the same thing. When we're, you know what I'm saying? So give us the 40 extra points.
Agreed. Then let's keep it pushing here. I swear I'm going to have some spicy takes eventually. A lot of good matchmaking. Very close fights here on this main card. Up next, we got Joe Alvarez and Elvis Brenner, man. And this is another one that we were discussing a little bit at the lake, and like
I agree with you too. The things you had said, we kind of dropped it as soon as you made your case for it, but I fully agree. Like the length, the power, and like which Alvarez do we get?
Yeah, Alvarez misses weight.
I have no idea.
He's inactive, but like if a good Alvarez shows up, he should run through Brenner. I think he's a level higher. Of Brenner's kind of a brawler. You know, Brenner takes L's. Joe Alvarez never fights, so he can't take L's. But it's in theory, like if we get best on best, I got Alvarez 2 stars. But there's so many like built-in caveats there. Let's see the number here. Joe Alvarez -190.
I don't hate the Brenner +150 is my problem because I have this as a real coin flip just based on like who implements their style. But I do have the lean to Alvarez. If that makes
Alvarez
sense.
is also huge. Remember, he's 6'3".
That's where I'm leaning. Because you know who Alvarez reminds me of? He reminds me of Bahamondes Floor, but with a way higher ceiling, but we don't know if we ever see the ceiling.
Also more of a grappler. Bahamondes more of a striker. But yeah, Brenner here, he's 5'10", taking on 6'3".
Only loses by decision, though.
And his only loss is to Orobai, who did out-grapple him. More out-wrestle than out-grapple. Different styles here. Win over Guram, though. And
finished him, too.
And then the win over Tukagov, Dagestani, you know.
Finished Khrushchevsky in 4 minutes.
Which I think that's a can win.
Yeah, but I'm just saying finishing in 4 minutes, you're doing what you should do.
Joe Alvarez, it's like he's 20-3. He's 6'3". He hasn't fought since literally 1 year. Darce Jacasey, which that's
lost to Sarukian. I'm not even going to talk shit about.
No, okay, but he beat Moises, who's another grappler. So grappler on grappler, and then before then,
the lost to Ismagulov.
That wasn't a bad loss at the time, though. He was pretty new, and Ismagulov was ranked,
and that's 5 years ago.
Yeah, but then I feel you. These other wins, none of these guys are still in the UFC.
The activity's a little bit of a problem too. A year off since Jacasey, and then you're talking Sarukian. Where is it? Sarukian, he's had, this will be his third fight in 2.5 years.
I know, yeah. That's Joe Alvarez.
But think how active Brenner is. Brenner's so active.
Yeah, but I also think Brenner's like very limited. Like he's just like kind of brawls.
To me, he reminds me of the cheapest version possible of Diego Lopez. And that's his training partner, so it makes sense. But like,
I guess,
does that make sense? Like he does all the same things, just nothing to the same level.
I don't think I want to bet on a guy who, like, I think is worse, but I'm hoping the other guy has a bad night. You know what I'm saying? That's what that would be.
I know.
If I bet Brenner,
I can't bet on Alvarez because I feel like I don't trust him to have a good night.
Exactly.
That's where I'm at with this
We're in
fight.
a tough spot. Like, Because, like I said, I think best on best, we both take Alvarez. Like if we have some kind of
Yes.
weird written guarantee
But it's
that
like
Alvarez is on
Brenner
point.
more consistently shows up, whereas Alvarez shows up, or when he does show up, less consistently, but at a higher level.
Yeah,
you see what I'm saying?
Yeah, exactly. No, I know exactly what you're saying. Like Elvis Brenner's consistent, but he's like consistently like kind of mid.
Yes, yeah,
And-
consistently like a 6.5, whereas Alvarez can be an 8,
Can be an 8.
but is sometimes a 5.
It might miss weight or like
and be a 4.5. Like,
yeah, dude.
it's a real problem.
Probably
It's
going to
a
stay away from it. Probably going to stay away from it.
And honestly, the under-over, I would love to see what Vegas has it set as, because, like, I have no fucking idea. This is a fight that I could see Brenner finishing him in.
It's a weird matchmaking,
I could see Brenner finishing Alvarez in the first 3 minutes. I could see Alvarez choking Brenner out in the first 7 minutes. I could see the fight ending just after 2.5 minutes.
This is one of those fights, too. I feel like there's a lot more on it for Brenner. I feel like a Brenner win over Alvarez does more for Brenner's career. Like an Alvarez win.
I think Alvarez loss hurts Alvarez way more, though. Like, I think Brenner can afford this.
But I'm saying, even if Alvarez wins, everybody's gonna be like, "Nice win over Elvis Brenner." You're like supposed to be a ranked guy, but you never fight. Like, you know what I'm saying? I don't think he has much to gain.
Yeah, right. But I'm saying, like, think about the times when we played like teams that were slept on, where it was like, we better get a fucking dub.
This is interesting. Granted, both guys are kind of finishers, so it makes sense. But over 2.5 plus money, plus 118. Kind of interesting.
I could see myself doing this as like the actual third leg of that minus 250 and swinging it both ways.
Yeah.
And trying to like,
this fight is a shit show, though. We're trying to talk ourselves into shit.
It's so hard to bet. Like, it's going to be a great fight.
Yeah.
I think that's the important part, is that's going to be a fun fight to watch.
Well, that's one of those fights. Like, I'm not going to look forward to it until Alvarez makes weight. Like, you can't. Like,
which, speaking of,
tomorrow, right?
But they're 12 hours ahead of us, so they'll weigh in.
They might be weighing in real soon.
In like 4 hours, they'll weigh in.
That's interesting.
Let's go. We will know about that Alvarez. We'll update that on Twitter probably tomorrow morning. X.
Let's keep it pushing here to some light heavyweights. The feature prelim. This may be my like people's main event.
I feel pretty strongly about this. I do. Because I see one off chance path to victory for one guy, and I see a very dominant path to victory for the other guy.
Yeah, got the undefeated Nurmagomedov taking on the brawler in Alonzo Menifield. I got Nurmagomedov 2 stars here. I like the by KO / the under. The only thing that's concerning about Nurmagomedov is his size. He's really small for the weight class. But he's also undefeated.
Too. Menifield just very muscled. He's just jacked, but he's small. Like, I think that's good for Nurmagomedov.
Also, Nurmagomedov is 35. People talk about him like he's a prospect, but he's 35.
Yeah, I disagree with the prospect thing. I think we're getting the best version of him right now, because look at his wins recently. Like, I think we're seeing the best Nurmagomedov currently.
Yeah. So 2022, 3rd round knockout of Devin Clark, and then 2023. Decision over Jacoby.
But to get a ranking and knocked out Tafon Nchukwi, who is not easy to finish in his debut.
True. And then Menifield does get knocked out. And he got knocked out in the first round, 12 seconds. He's coming off that knockout, too. So chin partially cracked.
Oh, brother, that was May 11th?
Yeah, not long ago.
He's taking a fight on 10 weeks after getting flatlined.
And Nurmagomedov, like, world-class striker. Yeah, no, this is one of my most bullish picks. Let's see here.
Because the Nurmagomedov KO under all sounded good to me.
Yes.
This is one where I was telling you I might bet this. Nurmagomedov round 1 KO. Nurmagomedov round 2
Nurmagomedov on a parlay is pretty nice. He's sitting around -210.
I like that. Him and Char Bullet.
Yeah, him and Char Bullet.
This is another guy. They want Nurmagomedov to perform in.
And you can almost copy and paste our Oleg Senchek Char Bullet breakdown. The looping punches. The crisper guy.
They're feeding these guys KOs for the crowd. I swear to you, that's what they're trying to do.
Let's see here.
People at home, call it a conspiracy. The UFC has sold out to Middle Eastern gas money, and they're going to feed them the finishes they need to see.
-159 on the under 2.5. I love that, especially if you're doing over/under parlay. Let's see, Nurmagomedov by TKO KO plus 140. But hey, those are the ones that cash.
I've been cashing my prop of the week.
I've been cashing
prop of the week.
Like plus 140 method of victories like all year long.
I know.
Yeah, like that's the sweet spot.
I love those. That's 100% the sweet spot.
That's looking like prop of the week for me. Like so far, it's strong leading candidate.
It's the one where like that was the way I like the fight to win without knowing any of the odds, was just Nurmagomedov KO. And now after seeing the Menifield is coming off 10 and a half weeks. 9.5 weeks, whatever it
Just
is,
got cracked.
and just got cracked by Oldberg.
And then
I love it.
69% of Murzakinov's win come by KO. Like, that's how he wins.
Right. And then the decisions, he only has 3 of those.
Let's see the percentage of Minifield losses by KO. So 50% of his losses are by KO. I love that math.
And 50 by decision. So you just never bet Murzakinov submission here. But
yeah,
honestly, this is where you could go Murzakinov KO, Murzakinov decision.
I think I'm Murzakinov money line on a parlay, and I'm going to do a Murzakinov method of victory. I think I feel that bullish.
This guy might be the guy to ride this week.
Might be lock of the week. Might be lock of the week. Up next, we got Kyle, or however you say his name, Kyle. I don't know. Fernandez taking on. It's Muhammad Yahya. It's not Ronnie.
Not Ronnie. Yeah.
But this is can-on-can violence to the up degree. I have Fernandez at 78th in my power rankings. Yahya 89 though. So
I just want to say, just to your point, those power rankings that you just said, please look at the odds and tell me you shouldn't bet on Yahya based on what you just said.
Based on can. But see, Yahya's a guy just can't put.
I will never bet on this fight, but based on those
plus
numbers,
310.
And you're telling me they're 11 apart in a can.
Yeah, I feel like Billy Walters' logic. You would bet Yahya.
100%.
But also, I've been talking about this on the pod lately. Like betting on guys who I just don't have faith in.
I hate both these guys. I hate both their futures. I hate how they fight. I honestly couldn't tell you much about either guy.
Let's take a quick look at some Tapology stuff real here and just see if there's any trends or numbers that kind of jump out at us here. Let's see, like, if there's a way that one guy wins and another guy loses. Let's see. Fernandez, 50% of his wins by KO. Let's see how Yahya
he's got a decision.
loses.
He's got a split loss to Jacasey.
Yahya, only 25% of losses by KO, so that's not really aligning. Yahya's coming off the Trevor Peak loss, which is not
that's
great.
Bad too, bro.
But then, I mean, what? You got Fernandez coming off a Mark Jacasey split decision,
loss,
though.
But
yeah.
Jacasey too.
Yeah, I think I'll take that over a straight up L to
Me too.
Peak.
Me too.
Like Jacasey probably beats Peak.
Yes.
So
yes.
MMA math.
I'm just saying at plus 310, that is one where like I feel no confidence in the favorite. So like I would lean to the dog.
Yeah,
but I'm not going to bet.
I have Fernandez 2 stars, but this is probably not going to get any actual coin. Like I'll probably take Fernandez on verdict. As far as like putting my hard-earned money on a guy, I don't know if I'm going to put it on Fernandez.
I love picking Fernandez. I just hate betting him.
Good way to put it. Good way to put it. And for that reason, we will keep it pushing to some heavyweights here.
I actually like the bet I have here.
So we got Gaziv taking on Downtown Mays. And while Gaziv did look really bad in his last fight, I still think
favors him stylistically.
I still think he has a much higher ceiling than Mays. I have them power ranked close, but almost like I had Sharabola and Oleksiejczuk. Like I have Mays on the way down and Gaziv on the way up-ish. But like I guess what I'm saying is like I'm out on Mays, and I'm like I'm willing to give Gaziv a little bit of more of a chance, give him a little bit benefit of the doubt. Like I'm not completely out on Gaziv like I am Mays.
I also think Mays is a low enough level guy at heavyweight where like if you're good at one thing, you can work it against Mays.
Yes.
And you can win. Whereas, like, I think Gaziv is just a way better striker.
Also, Gaziv, like, let's see what the by decision and the over and stuff is, because he is snoozy as fuck. Even though he's big and it's heavyweight, I could see it being a decision. Yeah, so he's coming off the loss to Rosenstruck.
It's his retirement.
I think he, like, either verbally tapped or his corner threw in the towel or something.
Oh, that was his corner throwing in the towel.
Yeah, I think that goes down as a retirement.
That's right.
But Mays here, the thing about it, Mays lost to Nascimento, who's not a can. Lost to Augusto Sakai. 2023 Augusto Sakai might as well be a can, if we're being honest.
Bro, and that win over Arlovsky was fucking dog shit. Because if you remember, right hook to ground strikes, he literally just caught Arlovsky.
And why did he fight Nascimento twice? That's so
And
weird.
lose to him both times.
And then his wins, Josh Parisian, Roque Martinez.
The fact he went almost all 3 rounds of Cyril Gane talks about how shit Cyril Gane is.
That's not a good look. Let's see what Gaziv by decision / the over is. I think that's going to be the play here, and just the overall number itself. Because I'm out on Don't Tell Mays.
Well, I'll also say Mays not really getting knocked out, mostly getting subbed.
Yeah,
and it's like Gaziv definitely not gonna sub him.
So Gaziv minus 270 parlayable.
I like this Middle Eastern parlay we have.
Yeah,
it's kind of crazy right now.
Might get a little home cooking.
Over 2.5 plus 130.
I like that a lot.
I like that a lot. And Gaziv by decision.
Yeah, where's Gaziv by decision?
Here, plus 340.
bro.
It's good value. Like
That's
I think
Sprinkle
I think the sprinkles are this week.
Yeah.
I might not even be running a big unit parlay. Like
We haven't cashed one of those
I
in
know.
so long. Just being
I know.
honest with the viewer, like
yeah, like I don't want to
we
cheat
go-
you
we
guys
go-
money. Like I'd rather give you high odds that I feel better about on just.
and we've been
bet,
crushing props, but
I
every
know.
week we go 2 out of 3, 4 out of 5 on our parlay and barely miss them.
Which we're coming for you, round robins.
Yeah.
We're figuring you out.
Yeah,
tonight.
we're gonna start getting on a round robin.
If you know about round robins, leave it in the comments.
Yeah,
so we don't look so stupid.
we need to like understand them more. Honestly, I don't ever really bet those, but I want to start. But yeah,
we're gonna low bar and figure them out.
Yeah, we'll do some deep dive here. But yeah, so I got Gaziv as a 1-star. I'm gonna talk myself into a 2nd star here, though. If we're talking about putting it on the parlay and betting the prop,
I'll be real. Like DMAC, I didn't have this in my head until we just went through them to this point. I am gonna run a 3-leg parlay of the fucking Middle Easterns in Abu Dhabi. Why the fuck would
Nurmagomedov, Murzakanov, and Gaziv.
Yeah.
That sounds nice. It'll yield pretty decent value.
And you could throw Umar at that on a 4th if you wanted.
If you wanted to,
I wouldn't.
I'd feel nervous about it.
I would be very nervous, but I'm just saying, like, if we're at the book, and it was one of those things where you could add a leg, you know what I'm saying?
Like in the first 3 cash, go live.
Exactly, go live, add a leg. Like, yeah, I'd be feeling my coins.
I guess you could it because those would already have cashed.
Some places will let you extend.
Okay.
They'll like let you re-risk. Well, because there's a casino, like would they rather pay you your 3-leg or would they let you rather
keep
like push your luck further?
Yeah. Man. So it sounds like we like Gaziv more than we originally decided. Is that a 3-star? I mean, we sound pretty all in on Gaziv.
I'm very in on Gaziv. I have him as a 3-star coming out.
Yeah,
I mean, so. I don't see why not, because I think Mays is absolutely washed. He's slow. Gaziv's slow. So, but in saying Mays is slow, that means Gaziv isn't going to get.
Well, this is almost like a Trey Ogden pick. Like, I think I have faith in Gaziv to make this boring and clinchy and cagey.
100%.
And like avoid the new.
It's just a better martial artist. Man. Yeah. Like, I think flat out better martial artist.
No, I feel it. No, this next one's super interesting because we got Kutataladze, who has high highs. Yeah, he has like a high floor and like a kind of a high ceiling. It's just he's another guy kind of like Joel Alvarez, where he doesn't fight that often. You don't really know what you're going to get on any given night. And talk about unknowns and not knowing what we're going to get. He's fighting this Cage Warriors champion,
Jordan Vucinic,
who people seem to be high on. I'm not going to try to be a smart mark here. And I tell you, I know he has a lot of tattoos. That's about all I know.
I believe he fights out of Next Gen and trains with Patty and is Patty's training partner.
I'll just say, man, hype train or whatever, Guram is a tough debut.
The tough Gamrot lost his debut to Guram.
Yes.
And Gamrot's top 5 now.
Let's go to Guram's Tapology real quick because it's so all over the place.
It's all over.
It's all over the place. It's hard to read. It's almost like a riddle.
But I think I have the answer to the riddle.
Okay, lay it on us.
So I think if you're extremely good at wrestling and you try to implement wrestling against
his good takedown defense
against Guram, you lose those typically. Like look, like the Demir Ismagulov almost lost that fight. And it's like, what was he trying to do? Grapple Guram the whole fight. Gamrot, I thought won the fight, but lost the fight. Why? He tried to grapple him the whole fight. Elvis Brenner knocked him out because he quit trying to grapple him after the first 2 rounds and realized I'm just going to strike him down.
So crazy, Brenner.
Now, what's Vucinic? How does he win? I'm not familiar with how he wins. Because if it is by KO, TKO, I like Vucinic here.
Also, Vucinic 5'9", at lightweight though. Isn't Drew Dober size?
See, big submission decision guy, which leads me to think he's a big takedown lord, which makes me think.
And I guarantee you, Guram's harder to take down than these random Cage Warriors.
Oh yeah,
guys.
Kimura, rear naked, standing rear naked. That ain't Paul Hughes' decision loss is nice because Paul Hughes is the Cage Warriors champion currently, but like, bro, that ain't
Morgan Chartier ain't win.
Also great win. Also Paul Hughes split win.
He just fights Paul Hughes every other week.
But these are also 4 years ago.
Oh yeah.
You know what I mean? Like,
what I think this is like. I don't know, bro. I'm debating if I want to break my no bet on debutantes rule because, like,
what's the over here?
Betting on like debuting against Guram as a submission guy. I usually don't bet debut guys. I've had bad luck with it in the past, but I may break. Guram's at minus 235 too, and he's not gonna. I don't have a hard time seeing him get subbed here. Fight goes to decision minus 155.
Yeah.
That favors Guram all day. Yeah, Guram.
I think Guram is like Guram by decision here. What is that?
Guram by decision.
Down a little bit. Yeah. Where is it? Plus 115. Vegas really sees the Kurucheladze decision.
Yeah. And I can too.
I'll be honest. That Vucinic plus 540 decision, I don't hate that if he does end up being able to grapple effectively against. Now, we have seen no one do that, and that's why I think Guram is a better number.
There's no indication, right?
Right.
Yeah. I would stay away from that.
What's Guram's total number?
Like it's just his money line. Minus 235.
Once again, could add that as the fourth leg. And it is, once again, another Middle Eastern guy. Like, this Middle Eastern parlay is coming together very strong. And I'm not saying he's going to be on there. He would absolutely be the fourth leg out of those four.
Yeah.
But I don't hate it, man.
I don't hate it.
Especially against the guy that's making his debut. This guy's a fucking win against Gamrot.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
And we're talking about he's fighting debut guys. Granted, Vucinic is a beast, but like,
I just don't like the style.
I hate.
Brenner knocked him out because Brenner's a wild man. Like we haven't seen him like out grapple. We've never seen Guram like out grapple. Even against Gamrot. That's what I'm saying, bro. I have a hard time believing.
And Vucinic had decisions and sub wins. He had 13 wins, but 11 of them were sub decision, which means he's grappling to get those.
I have a hard time believing the fucking Cage Warriors vampire is going to be the first one to do it.
Yeah. There's in fact no way.
Yeah, no, I'm liking Kurucheladze there too. And I had him as 3 stars, and I'm going to keep him at 3 stars. Parlay candidate for sure.
I see you have no bet for this next one. Victoria Dujikova and Sam Hughes. Fuck Sam Page. That's the biggest fade of my life. I got Dujikova in this one.
I know.
I don't think the odds justify a bet, but I will say that, like, as a pick, I am absolutely picking Dujikova.
When Dudikova, Vegas agrees with you, minus 170-ish, depending on where you look.
I like that number, actually.
Not a great number.
Bro, are we not fading Saif Saud?
Ooh, that's a very good
Sam
point.
Hughes' coach, and we're fading her separately already. Like, she has the triple fade.
Sam Hughes has that weird effect, almost like Gazeev, though, where she can just make these fights close.
8-6.
8-6 for sure. Also, let's see, 3-5 in the UFC.
Amarim, Elise Reed, Estela Nunes.
Estela Nunes is a good win.
Every time she fights a good girl, she loses. Every single time.
Yeah, but I just don't know if Dudikova is a good girl.
I think Dudikova is closer to Lukbunmi than
8-0, 25. But Sam Hughes.
Look, beat Estela Nunes, dislocated her elbow with a sub, beat Jinyu Fry, beat her up.
Jinyu Fry's pretty comparable to Sam Hughes.
That's what I mean. And beat her 30-27. Like,
Sam Hughes does have the cardio.
Who cares? It's cardio at women.
Saif Saud.
Just highlights it for me. Yeah, bro. That's what I mean. For me, this is based on the value. This is a Dudikova is probably gonna get bet somehow because like that minus 165 number against a girl that I'm fading for her fight style and her coach. I don't know. Like this one jumped off the page to me, in all honesty.
All right, yeah, I'm not gonna be stubborn here. So we got Dudikova over Sam Hughes. What are we going? 1 star, 2 star? I know you like.
I would say 2. I would say 2
star.
I would say 2 because I will still be respectful. Like I think Dudikova has passed to losing if she doesn't show up and has a bad night. But I think this favors her fighting once again Abu Dhabi, not far from Russia.
Yeah. So as a girl who's not been that battle tested, 8-0, 25 years old, Sam Hughes is one of those fighters that can test your cardio, maybe insert some doubt into your mind.
But I 100% like her after seeing her beat Estela Nunes and
Jinyu Fry.
Jinyu Fry is the same type shit, like almost identical in fact.
Yeah, that's not a bad point.
Sam Hughes might have better heart, like actual heart, if that makes sense. Like she'll fight through harder positions more than Jinyu Fry. But yeah, I don't see her technically being better.
And like that ship has sailed, right? Like Sam Hughes is washed.
This feels like a feeding, right? Like it's a 25-year-old getting.
It's either a feeding or a fraud check, I guess is my point. Like that outside possibility of a fraud check. I think
and what's so weird is like this is where I would fully disagree. Is she's not the 33rd best strawweight, and maybe she's 34th, but I think Sam Hughes is just trash.
I have Sam Hughes. You're probably going to hate mine ever at 26.
Yeah, but you have Dudikova at 28.
Yeah,
which is fine.
Yeah,
like I think that sample size putting Dudikova there, and 26 is for Hughes because like she's fought.
We know she's not better
girls.
than that. Like for a fact, we know Sam Hughes is not better than that.
Doesn't beat anyone above that.
Dudikova very well may be. It's just small
exactly. Exactly. This is once again train up, train down.
Yeah, very fair, very fair. Man, Jai Herbert is another. This card is full of the guys that fight like once every 18 months. Like Jai Herbert, when's the last time he's fought? He's not even in my rankings,
dude,
because he never fights.
This fight's so weird for me. It's like I think Herbert's the way better fighter, but
Bedoya coming down from welterweight, and have you seen the pictures? He's jacked. Bedoya was always doughy, and he looks jacked now. Jai Herbert famously almost knocked out Ilya Topuria, but
yeah, famously he breaks mentally.
Yes,
that's what's famous for me about Jai Herbert is he gets mentally broken. And who doesn't? Old pudgy boy that just cut 15 extra pounds.
Yeah, but Bedoya's a dog.
Absolutely.
I remember us talking about his striking defense. I remember it was Chin of the Year. We're breaking down Chin of the Year, and we're like, should we put Bedoya on there? And we rewatched it. It's like actually no,
he's not really rolling the shots really well.
Like he has really good striking defense.
Right.
Yeah. And I'm sure he'll be lighter and
Jai
quicker.
Jai Herbert's Black Country Banger. He wants to strike. He's not really a grappler. I actually don't hate, and I know Bedoya's the dog here. I don't hate Bedoya in this fight. Split loss to Chaos Williams. That's pretty much Jai Herbert.
Yeah, and Song Kanon, very similar to Jai Herbert as well. Power strikers, but they both beat him. That makes me nervous.
Yeah, but I once again think this is one where it's like Bedoya coming down in weight.
And Bedoya's back's against the wall.
Those guys are bigger. Like, Chaos Williams is way bigger than Jai Herbert.
Man, I had Herbert as a 1-star, so I'm definitely not dying on the hill.
For me, it's a no bet. I just think the value's on Bedoya.
What is the line? Do we even know what the value is?
I know Bedoya's the dog. I don't know what the line is. It's close. I think it's like plus 140.
Let's check her out. We got Bedoya here at plus 115.
There you go. It's getting closer. Click that real fast. Click that one right there. Yeah, it opened at plus 143. Boom. There you go.
So money's coming in on Bedoya.
Yeah, lots.
Yeah. Well, Jai Herbert's one of those guys where he has the tangibles, right? Like he has the reach, he has the power, he has the speed, but he doesn't have the intangibles. And Bedoya is the opposite. Bedoya is a dog.
Bro, this for me is mental matchup. Who breaks and who doesn't? One guy gets broken all the time, and one guy does not break.
That's a solid point. That is a very solid point.
That was my biggest takeaway was that, like, that's my lean on Bedoya. Is like I think he's mentally tougher, and I think he's coming down in weight. So I think Jai Herbert's power means nothing to a guy that has a chin that was surviving welterweights.
Yeah, who took a shot from Chaos Williams, right? Because that was a decision.
Yeah, he was eating shots, and that's the one we thought Chin of the Year because we were giving him Chaos Williams power credit, and we were like, oh no, his striking defense is actually good.
I just flipped it, so I got Bedoya. I'm gonna still go 1-star.
Yeah, I'm
still go 1-star.
Yeah, it's one I don't like. Yeah, I might have a weird little like 3-leg dog parlay that's just like these minus 105s, these plus 115s. Might see if I could hit my stride on 3 of those.
Well, up next, and this is more can-on-can violence, but I think there's a very clear path to victory here. And I can't believe I'm going to say this because this is a guy we spent a lot of time shitting on this podcast. Dumas by KO seems like just like it's going to happen. Like
if you want to know something crazy, that's actually my pick for this fight is Cedric Dumas to KO.
By KO.
Yeah. I don't even like the value on him as a parlay on Dumas. I literally just like the KO value.
So what do we got? Dumas minus 225. Yeah, I would never lay that number. But what is KO? Dumas by KO plus 400.
Yeah.
Get the fuck out of here.
I love it.
Get the fuck out of here.
This is a method of victory week.
Ooh, that made me tingle. Because all right, let's head to a little tapology here. How do we arrive at this conclusion? Why am I firing from the hip? Why am I so bullish on a kid?
Well, Tallulah loves to get knocked out, and Cedric Dumas can't.
He does have power.
And
he's like a plus athlete. He's rangy. Let's see here. Now, granted, he doesn't have a UFC KO.
Oh, well, yeah, but Frim literally assaulted the fuck out of him, and then he shot a blind takedown and got guillotined from being, like, rocked as hell shooting.
But regardless, we know...
And he got KO'd by Tallulah, or Rizboev.
Tallulah older, 36 years old. Tallulah gets knocked out. Let's see, knocked out by Christian Leroy Duncan, which is not aging well.
Gregory Rodriguez, which...
First round.
That's crazy. He got those guys in
back-to-back, yeah.
Damn.
He was the MMA math that
John Young, the Iron Turtle, choked him out.
Getting finished in round 1 by Iron Turtle.
And Khizraev choked him out in round 2.
Yeah, and I think Khizraev is more of a striker, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, 100%.
His only wins against Jamie Pickett, who was literally the only guy below him on my cans here.
Tallulah just loves to get dropped. Like, if I could bet on a knockdown, that'd be my favorite bet of the night.
Ikram, he fought Ikram and lost back in the day. So he's fought a hard schedule. I guess that's the thing about Tallulah. He fought a hard schedule.
Yeah, but every time he fights...
And Dumas is worse than all these guys. Like
Dumas, I think, is a better Jamie Pickett.
Yes, but that's the only win he has. But hey, I'm standing on business here. I still love Dumas by KO.
I do too.
At that number, plus 400 against fucking Chinny McGee, Can McGee.
And honestly, first fight of the night that I couldn't give a shit less about, I'll sprinkle it I
sprinkle it. Yeah.
And it's at 9 a.m. here in the morning. Shout out.
Yeah.
Fucking UFC. You know what? MMA Guru brought this up, and I want to bring it up because I think it's an important point before we get into best bets here. The fucking people in England had to stay up all night for a card. And we as Americans could watch it on our time and they could get their pay-per-view buys. What the fuck is with this card? They're just going to give the
Middle East free.
What the
It's a fight night, so they don't have to worry about like numbers and it's on ABC, so the numbers are like going to be baked in.
Yeah,
I see where you're going.
This was never about numbers anyway, because Riyadh and Abu Dhabi are paying independently to get these cards. So like that's why it's all. That's why I'm saying the UFC is fully sold out to money, is because like the like Turkey Al Sheikh or whatever, Al Sheikh, he's literally just paying them millions of dollars to put the card at 9 a.m. American time, so that he doesn't have to worry about American buyers. Like he's buying out the American buying market, and good on him. Like good on him to have the money to do that. But like fuck you, Dana. That's bullshit. Because I feel bad for the English fans, man. Those are like some of the best fans, and then they get 2 events a year, and one of them is going to be literally overnight. That fucking sucks.
Yeah, no, I feel it. I just pulled up the parlay calculator here. It's always hard to find a good parlay calculator that I like.
Go to Vegas Insider. Yep.
Right here. You seem to be more familiar with this.
Right here.
So here, let's see here. So we got Gaziv. We're officially entering our best bet segment here. We're gonna assemble our parlay here. Let's see here. Are you gonna pull it up on your phone?
Yeah.
The parlay calculator. Sick.
Yep.
Sick. All right, here. So I think our official parlay, like our official Beefy Boys parlay, is gonna be a 3-legger here. We got Gaziv. Let's call it minus 270.
Okay.
We got Nurmagomedov. Let's call it minus 210.
Mm-hmm.
And we got Magomedov, call it minus 265. Those numbers are all over the place on here.
Plus 178.
Plus 178.
But I don't hate that for those three.
Not the juiciest.
Now, what happens when you add that fourth leg of
Guram?
Yes.
Plus Guram. Let's see what he's sitting at. Plus Guram is gonna be, where is he at? Minus 230. Yeah, minus 230. What does that fourth leg get us to?
Plus 300.
Plus 300. I like that a lot more. Might have to run the three.
And then my greedy ass might add a fifth leg of Dujikova, which is plus 542.
For sure, I'll let you.
Honestly, I won't, because you know what we talked about recently, that we've been missing these parlays by one leg.
Yeah, it's that greedy leg. No, dogs. We gotta decide on a dog here.
Ferguson by sub.
I don't want to do Loopy. That seems cheap at minus 105. That's
like
a minty bet.
Feels like an absolute cop out to do that. Bedoya is probably my dog. Yeah, Bedoya is definitely my dog.
Bedoya
is definitely my dog.
Plus 115.
Because I like Brenner, but I love Bedoya.
Bedoya, you know what I mean? Plus 115. And that's one of those ones where we're not saying he will win, but he for sure could win.
And Vegas agrees he has the best chance of any dog that they're looking at.
Plus 115. I mean, that's what you're looking for on a dog straight. Like, easily 100%. Could happen. Vegas is telling you it could happen.
Props, we got fat props this week. Dude.
So many props. Maybe too many. So what? Dumas by KO for sure. What was that? It was like plus 400, right?
Oh, yeah.
Plus 400. That's just too juicy.
We got the Umar by decision.
Umar, sure, we got to look that back up, huh?
I think it was plus 110. Plus 130. It was plus 130.
Plus 130. Let's just double check for the people real quick.
Shara KO. We need to look that up over here.
Nurmagomedov by decision.
Oh, yeah, it was.
Where's it at? Right here. Plus one. Let's just call it plus 120.
Yeah, plus
one place has it 133. One place has it plus 110. We'll call it plus 120. Interesting. I'm not in love with it.
What's the Sharbutin KO?
Sharbutin by KO. I don't love that one as much as you, but I'll look it up for you and the people here.
Or Sharbutin decision. I'm sorry. Shar decision. That's what we talked about, right?
Shar decision.
Because he doesn't finish guys.
Magomedov by decision plus 340.
Yeah,
That's juicy.
That's what we like.
See the number. Shara by decision. Was it plus 350?
Plus 340. Plus 350. I mean, fuck it.
Yeah, who cares? All right.
We had some others on there.
Gazee by decision. I know 100%, we liked.
100%.
Let's check that out real quick. Gazee by decision. Let's see here.
Tony by sub. We got to throw that on there.
Yeah.
I mean, we have to. It's literally the craziest value of all time. And, like, there's no other way we'd take that bet. So we might as well give the props some shine.
Gazee by decision. Gazee by decision. Another one plus 340. That seems crazy.
I love that.
I love it so much. Gazee by decision plus 340. Because he's such a snoozy fighter. The only reason that number's high is because it's heavyweight.
Well,
that's the only reason.
But Dontel Mays is such a snoozy fighter too. Like,
I know.
It's two snoozers.
We're getting like extra value because of the weight class.
I know.
Yeah,
I know.
But these are snoozy
snoozers.
heavyweights. Yeah,
and they're both guys that like will get cracked and then they'll not like wade into the danger.
Oh,
like, back up.
Murzakanov by KO.
Oh,
is my favorite one.
Yeah. That's like the must bet. Which it might have been plus 110.
KO. Let's see here. Murzak. Hit him with that.
Hit him with that Murzak.
Murzakanov by KO. Where is it at? Plus 140. I will take it, lads. Yep. I will take it.
And then what's the Dudakova decision?
Yeah, you're right. We got probably enough, but Dudakova.
Yeah, last one, because I remember. I have a good feeling about her winning this fight.
Yeah, you like Dudakova this week, man.
Dude. I just hate Sam Hughes.
Yeah, I think that's another fighter we've always had slightly.
And to your point, like,
but you might be winning that war.
But to your point, like, she is a qualified fighter to go 15 minutes.
Yes,
and lose.
Yeah, true. Dudakova, where is it?
By decision -1. It's not worth betting.
No.
Vegas agrees, though.
Especially with so many we love.
If Vegas is going to tell you that by decision Dudakova is -115, why wouldn't you take her as a parlay leg at -165?
All right, so I think our official is going to be Murzakanov by KO. Our official prop of the week is Murzakanov by KO.
Yeah.
I think that's fair to say.
Yes, because all the rest is like sprinkles that I love. That one's a bet that I love.
Oh, and then
that one's like,
and then Tony by sub for you scumbags out there like Harrison
plus
1200.
Insane value, insane. And you know what? I'm gonna give a shout out. I stole that one off Matty Betts, but you know what? I agree. I did my own research and understand why that one's so worth it.
But Dumas by KO, I like more. And
can I get a picture of this, you know?
Right. So Murzakanov by KO plus 140 is our favorite. Like if we had to only give you one, but us personally, we're betting multiple method of victory props this week. And my other favorites, Gazee by decision at plus 340, absolutely love it. Dumas by KO at plus 400. Harrison likes to sprinkle on Tony by sub for fun. Umar by decision plus 120 honorable mention. Shara by decision plus 340 honorable mention. And yeah, we told you the rest.
Can you just do me the quick favor of putting in the Gazee decision Murzakanov KO parlay?
You got the parlay.
Oh yeah, plus 340 plus 140 here. Let me get these put in.
What was it? Murzakanov and who?
Gazee.
Ooh, yeah, I actually really like that.
Right, because that's the one I feel like we're most confident in both those props. Right?
Yes, agreed.
And if I bet them, I'll probably bet them individually, but I might just put like a sprinkle on this.
Yeah, no, I get what you're saying. I don't hate it.
Plus 956.
Ooh, that'll get me out of bed in the morning, y'all. That'll get me out.
Damn near my Tony sub. That's damn near my Tony sub.
Last week, your boy hit a 3-leg method of victory, so it's not like this crazy unachievable thing.
Right.
Like, it really isn't.
Right. It's just believing in Gazee by decision. That's what makes that.
Which I strongly believe.
Strongly believe it.
Yeah.
Like if you believe that 2-legger is what you bet.
Yeah, man. So we're going heavy on the props this week. Our official parlay is Gazee, Murzakanov, Magomedov, and Guram Kutateladze at plus 300. Not the juiciest, but I like it. Bedoya, dog of the week, plus 115. Could definitely win that one. But like I said, we're hanging our hat on these props.
Yeah.
We've been crushing props lately. Like even on weeks where our parlays aren't hitting, even on weeks where we're not in the green, we're still cashing method of victories like every fucking week.
Yeah, you know what's been frustrating, honestly, man, with even, and verdict would be the evidence of this, is that our picks might be 70%, but on those picks, we're hitting the method by which they win 8 out of 10 times.
Especially the ones we're bullish on.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Like, we know when a fighter's going to win by this way. We know. Like, we almost always can call those.
For the past like 2 months, I think between the two of us have cashed like a method of victory like almost every week. Like
almost, if not every week.
If not every week, like damn near
cashed
to it.
Technically 3 last week.
Yeah, and I could technically cash 3 last week. So like any ones that we did miss, that helps like gain back out. Yeah. So like I said, I mean, parlay, dog, we're not on the hottest streak. But if I was a viewer watching this show for betting advice, I would pay close attention to our method of victory.
I'd be hunting our props. I'd hate our dogs and I'd hunt our props, and I'd be pissed if I followed the parlays. Sorry, guys. If you followed D-Max parlays recently, he's eating. I've been shitting sheets. But listen, point is, method of victories will pay you way more. And we're way hotter on those.
We're way hotter on those.
So if you were able to read in between the lines and just start parlaying our props, you were making tons of money. Even if you were straight betting our props, you're making bunches of money. And you gave out the prop parlay last week.
I did give it out, and like this week we're giving out another one: Nurmagomedov by KO, Gaziv by decision, 2-leg. Not even some extravagant 20-legger, 2-legger plus 956, 10 times your money basically. Can't be mad at that. So, like I said, we like our props. We're hot on the props, and I think we're going to head to the sports book here in a little bit and get these tickets in. So looking forward to it, y'all. Thanks for watching. Super stoked to do this episode live and in person. Be able to give my boy one of those with no Zoom bar in the middle of us.
Yes, sir.
But yeah, we're going to watch these fights Saturday, and we'll do another podcast episode live in person for y'all. And subscribe, like, check us out on social media. We're probably the most active on X/Twitter at Beefy Breakdown. We got an Instagram, Beefy Boys Breakdown. And we got a Facebook for the Boomers, Beefy Boys Breakdown. Thanks for watching, everybody. This was a lot of fun going live with y'all.
Yes, sir. Make sure you tune in this weekend. We're going to be coming with some live content from the book, from the Pepper Mill, huge screen.
We're going to tune in, puffing out our chest on these method of victories, making us ball out. Have a good night, y'all.